Hey Jim, I saw you post this video of your son on Facebook and thought I'd add my 2 cents with a quick video analysis. And if you have any questions at the end, please just let me know. The first thing you always want to look at with your son, especially when he's just started, is his grip. It's really hard to see his grip in this video, so take a look on YouTube, look for correct baseball grip videos. I wouldn't suggest going with door knocking knuckles. Go with a box grip or a gorilla grip. That'll place your son's hands in a stronger position at impact, and also helps with correct elbow position at launch. But the first thing you got to look at is his posture, and his weight is really too far back. I think maybe he's been told stay back because of how much he lunges forward, but part of the reason he lunges so far forward is because of how far he starts back. So if you look at his lower half, for instance, kind of looks like this now. All you really got to do is clean him up, turn him more into that, and instead of his body being angled so far back, just square him up. Get him a little taller. Not necessarily taller, but just square him up. Really, his center of mass should be over the center of his body. So if you look at where he is now, his center of mass is back here, okay? You really want his center of mass to be through the middle of his body. A quick way to fix that is tell him to stand with his feet together, jump up in the air as high as he can, and land as if he's guarding someone in basketball. His feet should be spread really wide. His knees will be bent. He'll be bent at the waist, and his body will be balanced. Next is his hand and elbow position. And hand and elbow position is not so important where they start, but it's more important as to where they end up at the top of his load. And at the top of his load, you can see he really doesn't, if we advance him, he doesn't really take his hands anywhere. He just keeps them where he starts them. So right there at complete foot plant is the top of his load. You can see he's already begun his swing before he's even completed his stride. So what you're looking for at the top of his load is for his elbow, which is here. He's got some racing back elbow going on. You really want his elbow to be parallel with the ground at the top of his load, okay? And if you look at the knob of the bat, it's really facing over here somewhere. At foot plant, you want the knob of the barrel to be facing down towards the catcher's feet. If you tell him to think of a flashlight as the knob, shine the flashlight on the catcher's feet. What that'll also do is it'll help eliminate this bat wrap. The bat is literally behind his head, behind his back, behind his shoulders. And at this point, if his hands were, if his hands were more up here, where they should be, and his elbow were parallel to the ground, the barrel of the bat would be more upright, the knob would be pointing more down towards the catcher's feet, if that makes sense. His elbow position at the start of his swing is one of the causes for this early sorry about that, is one of the causes for his racing back elbow and the bat drag that he's experiencing. So even at the start, I know people will yell elbow up, get your elbow up. Your elbow up at the start of your stance isn't important, but it's important if it's affecting his swing as he begins. So he probably would benefit from starting with his elbow up more and with the bat more upright. This racing back elbow is also causing him to roll over early. So if you watch, his elbow here and here, right? So his back arm, his top arm, is literally so far below and in front of his front arm that when he comes through and tries to get to impact here, he's got no shot to extend his back arm through the ball. What he ends up doing is rolling over. So you can see right there, he rolls over. That's partially strength and partially the fact that he starts with his elbow where he does. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of discussion on this forum, I'm sure, with the length of his stride, and people are going to tell you that it's too long, and then you're going to have other people say that he shouldn't be skipping his back foot, and both of those things couldn't be further from the truth. But anyway, his forward momentum that he's currently getting is fantastic. Basically, at foot plant, what you're looking for in a player, should back him up a little. What you're looking for in a player is kind of a triangle. And what I mean by that is this. So if you take this distance, okay, the length of his legs, this and this, okay, this part, the bottom, the width, the stride length should be the same as the distance of his legs, if that makes sense to you. And he's doing that fantastic. The reason he's having trouble lunging is this. If you watch when he strides, he lands on his heel. So as he strides out, he lands heel to toe. If you try to do that, stride and land heel to toe, you're going to do the same exact thing. What you've got to get him to do is he's got to land toe to heel. Land on the ball of his foot. So right here at heel plant, that should be the ball of his foot. That should be his toe. So it should go toe to heel. As he goes toe to heel, that'll really help prevent him from continuing to slide forward. Okay? But his stride length is fantastic. What it does is it generates a ton of forward momentum for him, and it's going to really assist him in bat speed. Now, the skipping of the back foot, which he does, is also phenomenal because what it allows for is a complete hip turn, and it's going to help him, again, generate a ton of power and a ton of bat speed. It's a little excessive in terms of the length, but I think part of that, too, will shorten up once he learns to control the forward momentum that's being caused from the excessive forward momentum that's being caused by dropping the heel first and then a toe. Because at foot plant, what you want to see, so right here, what shouldn't be happening is this and this. So watch. His head should stay within that circle, and his knee should stay behind that line. And then he should post up and have a firm front side, which he ends up doing on his front leg, but he just does it late. And he does it because he's stepping heel to toe. So another thing you can have him think about to post up properly on that front foot is people talk about hip rotation. Tell him to take his front hip and pull it back towards the catcher. As he takes his front hip and pulls it back towards the catcher, his front knee will post up and lock out automatically. So continue to work on that as well. Again, at foot plant, his back elbow should be parallel to the ground. Oops, excuse me. Should be parallel to the ground, and the barrel of the bat should be here. The knob should be there. That'll help him as well. What you don't want him to be doing is you don't want him to begin his swing until foot plant. So if you watch his hands as he's striding out, he's already beginning his swing. See, his hands are dropping. His elbows racing. Okay, you want him to stay in his loaded position as long as basically he possibly can. So his hands should be up. His elbow should be parallel to the ground when his toe touches. Okay? when his toe touches the ground first, then his heel. As his heel is lowering, that's when his swing will begin. Overall, I mean, your son is extremely athletic. He looks great. You clean some of this up, and I promise you he's going to be hitting the ball really hard. A really good drill you can get him to do is have him stride out, toe first to heel. So let's say he stopped right there. You can see at this point he's a little more centered, which is good, okay? Have him stop at that point. Have him take his hands, load them into the proper position so they're up here, okay? Have him make sure his barrel is tilted towards the pitcher, the handle, the knob, the flashlight is shining on the catcher's feet, and his back elbow is parallel to the ground. At that point, what you'll have him do is raise his heel back off the ground, staying in a fully strided out position. And once he lowers his heel, at that point, he'll start his swing. What'll happen is you'll see his head will stay still and his front leg will no longer slide forward. So that's all I got for now. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope this helps.